it's been a ton of fun, but things here at Gamescom 2023 on the Xbox booth are finally winding down. And Bex, we've played some games.
We've played some games, Henry. What was your favourite?
Oh, definitely Phantom Liberty, yeah, at the Cyberpunk experience. That was so sick seeing the start of that game. What about you?
Mine was Towerborne. I cannot wait. It's a wee bit off, but it was so much fun. I think you're really going to enjoy it as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, we checked out loads of things here, so why don't we show you everything we played here at Gamescom?
Yeah.
Now, Henry, you know I love a good Souls-like, but this is one of the most unique and joyfully silly ones I've ever played. Coming straight to Game Pass next year, another Crab's Treasure has you battling your way through the hard-knock life of a crustacean. You're specifically a hermit crab, which means that you can swap between different shells over the course of the game, and these function kind of like Elden Ring's weapon arts. So a soda can will let you use attacks from afar with a depressurization technique, while a shot glass will damage all the enemies around you when it breaks. You'll need all these skills when taking on bosses like this one we encountered, a huge crab who wields a broken bottle. And you'll also get to scuttle through some fun platforming challenges too.
Just before we travelled to Gamescom, S.t.a.l.k.e.r hit Xbox, and it captured so many of the things that we love about cats. Their nimble movements, their playfulness, their intelligence. But you know what? It left out their undeniable talent for being absolute trolls. And Little Kitty Big City is all about that.
Cat.
As you wander the game's semi-open world, you'll be able to find all sorts of fun ways to mess with the local humans, like making them fall over so you can steal their bagels, which, believe it or not, you need to actually do to solve a puzzle. But while you're out committing daring pastry thefts, be sure to watch out for hazards like water and dogs. Kitty does not like dogs. There are also puzzles to solve and tons of different cosmetics to collect, including a rather fetching frog hat. But if you're a cat lover, the highlight of the game might be the emotes, which allow you to pull off all of the big stretches that the internet is just so obsessed with. Little Kitty Big City will be slinking onto Game Pass sometime next year. But I also got some great time in with another Day 1 edition involving dog enemies too, but maybe not quite in the way that you think.
We're hanging outside the STALKER 2 demo booth at the Xbox Gamescom booth, and Henry's just had a go at the game. So, Henry, how was it?
Really intense. Like, I mean, from the get-go, when you start up a demo, the very first thing you see is you're lying down prone and a dog is just chewing your leg up. And you're trying to fight it off, you've got to do gun jams, trying to even just get it away. And then out of nowhere, it gets sucked up into the air and its head pops off. So,
oh, Grace.
It's intense from the get-go, you know.
So I'm guessing this is supposed to be pretty hardcore compared to the original game as well. What do you think?
I was speaking to one of the devs in there, and he was saying that they really wanted to focus on those hardcore elements, but at the same time I saw there was like helpful markers to help players find where they actually need to go to maybe progress a bit of story or just find something new to do.
Yeah.
The gunplay in it was quite fun as well.
Ooh, yeah.
But the one thing that really struck me was I was just kind of walking around, saw this little abandoned, like beat up shack in a little village, and some guy just bursts out of there screaming, like, there's something chasing me, I don't know what it is. And at any moment you get shocked, but not only that, the pace of it feels slow at times, but then there's these little incidental things that happen, like this guy running out, that amp up the feeling and amp up the pace. And that's kind of a problem because everything that you can do as a player, or at least most of it, is slowed down a lot. So reloading a gun, if you're inside of a firefight, it is slow. It's better to maybe swap to another weapon because it's like proper timing of everything and making sure it works perfectly. Same with bandaging. If you're hurt, you need to consider how long it's going to take you to actually roll a bandage around your arm or fix whatever it is if you need to like apply meds. Or it's super intense, super hardcore, but I think that's what they want to go for. They now feel like they're in a place where all the things they wanted to do for Stalker 1 that weren't possible, now they can nail it at Stalker 2 because they have the tech.
That's it.
So cool.
Sounds really realistic as well. Like
Yeah, that's the vibe they're going for. And I mean, you're in the exclusion zone and everything's like pretty barren. All the trees are like destroyed, obviously. I mean, they're not gonna live out there, which is obviously, but there is still life that's teeming around and there's little pockets of activity.
Yeah.
And like normally in a game, I suppose they would like spawn that in, like, oh, you're nearby, we'll drop in something here or there. Apparently, when I was talking to them, they said that's not how we do it in Stalker 2. Instead, what they do is that the entire world is just simulated real time at all moments. So if there is something happening over there, it's because it's been happening over there when you were a kilometer away, when you were 5 kilometers away. It's there. It's always there. So if there's a pack of dogs roaming around there, they've been there the whole time. And you could have stumbled upon them at any moment. So you really get this sense that the world is alive.
Yeah.
The people in there that are fighting with each other, they are like, there's almost stories for them that are happening, the AI. He was saying it's pretty cool. You could actually do some favors for some of these little pockets of communities and they'll like accept you and make you a friend. And you're like, oh, I've got some buddies now. That's nice. You could do the same with this group over here. Do some favors for them, you know, bring them some meds or whatever they need. Another group of friends. But the game might just eventually simulate that those two friend groups decide to not be friends, and you're almost deciding, oh, well, who do I like more? Which one do I side with? Or do I side with none of them, just let them fight it out, don't get involved? There's a lot of player choice, a lot of player agency, and I think it's adding to the fact that it just immerses you. Like, this is your character, this is your story. It's not totally linear in terms of the like narrative of it, because you can branch off and explore these kind of pockets of narrative that you have helped make too, which is really exciting actually.
Was there any jump scares in it?
There was actually, and in a way I was sort of prepared for it, and yet at the same time not, because it happened during the first bit of like proper combat I got to do, where that guy that burst out of the village, he was saying there's something chasing me, something chasing me. So I like followed him for a bit and I was like, dude, what's going on? Like, what are you screaming about? I don't see anything. He's like, oh man, you just brought it right to me. And then out of nowhere, this huge mutant just appears, because apparently they can go invisible. So he appears, swipes at me, and I'm like fumbling to try and get like anything to hit it back with. Popping at it, it keeps going invisible, going to different places, and I'm like just whipping around trying to find where it is. Eventually managed to kill that thing, but it's frightening that could just, again, same with meeting communities out there, meeting packs of dogs, danger can just find you. But yeah, the combat, it is fast. It feels really threatening because most of your awareness of where your enemies is going to be based on your actual senses. There's not too much in the way of the HUD saying, oh, I'm over here, I've got a big red X on my head. Like, you need to use your eyesight, you need to use your ears, you need to see where bullets are coming from. You can sometimes see bullet like trails whizzing by you. You've got to be paying attention and can't get flanked out there because the damage is like quite intense. It doesn't take much to bring you down, and I don't know if there's like multiple difficulty options or not, but I imagine if there is, and if there's like super hardcore settings for that, struggle probably, but in a good way, in a way that challenges you, I think, and makes you really consider your actions, how you want to play certain situations, whether or not you can talk your way out of something or do a favor for someone and make that now like a new safe haven for you. Brings a lot to the table in terms of player choice. And I think the combat just adds another layer on top of it.
Henry, after playing the demo, give us the verdict. Are you going to play it?
I'm going to play it, I really love the idea of having the entire game mode simulated at the same time. I don't know, if you can have multiple characters, you could even see how playing out different scenarios works to your favor. It just seems really exciting. It's like a bold new step for their franchise. This feels like a truly next-gen survival FPS, which is something I know Xbox fans have been really, really excited to play, and I'm going to do it too.
Now then, a complete change of pace came our way with Jusant, as it is one of the most soul-soothing games we got to play at this year's Gamescom, just so long as you don't look down. I spoke to the devs of this beautiful adventure live on stage, and they took me through climbing up the giant tower, which isn't as easy as it looks, as we found out in our hands-on. You use left trigger and right trigger to control your character's hands as they clamber, with LB and RB allowing you to ascend and descend on the rope. The scenery you climb through is a constant delight, and each new biome is filled with little bits of lore to learn and logic puzzles to overcome. It can also be pretty terrifying when the heights are getting high and your stamina's getting low, but placing pistons at least ensures you'll be able to save yourself if you misjudge a jump. Luckily though, you can't die, don't worry, but still terrifying if you slip. Luckily, you have Ballast by your side though. Look at him.
So cute.
Cutest little water drop. The climb begins on October 31st, and Jusant will be a day one addition to Game Pass.
But let's say you love the fast-paced fun of a battle royale. Well, run, don't walk to stumble, guys. Although, make sure you watch your step along the way. This 32-person party game will put players through their paces with over 30 wacky obstacle courses, team games, and survival challenges available. It's colourful, chaotic, and reliably hilarious, whether you're playing in a party with your friends or just taking on a bunch of stumbling strangers. Plus, you can personalise your character with all manner of zany cosmetics and emotes, even giving them their own custom footsteps for your opponents to follow. If they can. From one game with folks struggling to walk to another, but let's say just for a completely different reason.
Henry, tell me all about it. How was it?
It's busy, mate. Honestly, like the fighting, most people already seen. It's like still that same fluidity you get from Mortal Kombat. It's got a whole new lick of paint. They've added in the air combos, which are just bonkers. A bit like Devil May Cry style, like Dante would just like keep shooting people up. You can just juggle them in the air for what feels like forever. It's a lot of fun, and it makes me really excited for the game, which is actually not too far out now.
No.
So yeah, I'm gonna need to get practicing so I can get better at it, but it's fun.
Good. All right, tell us what did you get up to in the game?
So they did like a few like versus modes that you could try, but I said to them like, got anything else you want to?
Oh yeah.
Anything else you want to show
Is
me?
there anything else?
Yeah.
Under that seat there.
You know what? The devs were just really helpful with that, and they actually let us play Invasion, which
Okay.
is a brand new mode to the franchise, and it's something I can tell that they've really poured a lot of love into because it's like nothing I've ever seen in a fighting game that, you know, you don't get this in the AAA fighting games. This is brand new. It's really like unique. The way it works is it's basically kind of like a dungeon crawler roguelite in a way, if that.
Mortal Kombat dungeon crawler.
Yeah,
Okay.
doesn't sound like it makes sense, but when you actually get to playing it, it's pretty cool. So you're running through, you have like different paths you can take, and there are stages along the way where you'll do fights, or occasionally it might be that there's a merchant there, which, you know, obviously you can actually upgrade your character as you're running through, and you get to choose who you're going to go along with, and based on how well you're performing in the fights, and so long as you clear stages, you'll be earning rewards that you can use that will help you in later fights as well. So it's going through as Kenshin, and there are a few things that you could upgrade, like a talisman, which it's almost like an extra ability you can bring into the next fight, and
Yeah.
you have to recharge them. So there's this balance of, do I upgrade my character's core stats and attributes, or do I focus on like all the things I'm going to bring to equip on them, or bonuses I can get? Like you could earn things like, oh, extra fire resistance in your next fight, which might be the difference maker. As you're going through, I can only imagine it gets harder and harder and harder the further you go. But I tell you what, running through it as Kenshin was a lot of fun because got to try out a few fatalities as well. Which,
Okay.
yeah, these
Right.
are not safe for kids, by the way. They are obviously sickeningly gory, but that's what Mortal Kombat fans want, let's be honest.
Yeah.
The fatalities get better and better every single time they make a game,
Yeah.
and this is like peak fatalities. So cool.
Sounds disgusting.
Yeah, in a good way.
Well, did you try out any other characters or any of the other abilities as well?
Yeah, so I actually managed to play as Liu Kang
Okay.
for well, we actually got to play a bit of the campaign as Liu Kang. And if you played Mortal Kombat 11, you probably know that there was like, at the end of this campaign, there was a big sort of reset on the universe. Like time was literally like busted, they turned it all back, and that's actually reflected in Mortal Kombat 1, which makes a lot of sense. It's a not a reboot of the franchise, but maybe just like a refreshed take on it, and with that they start over again. Like everybody's all young and wrinkle-free and they look lovely, but that just means that they've also not at the full potential they used to be at Mortal Kombat 11. So what I loved about 11 was that the campaign was really like a blockbuster moment. It was high production value, great script, set pieces were amazing, the cinematic slap, the fights in between them, so much fun, and it made a lot of contextual sense with the story, and they're doubling down on that for one. So this campaign, like I said, you don't have all your abilities. You're gonna kind of go on this journey with these characters and earn them with them. So, and it's not just like, oh, you beat a fight, so you get to now unlock one of these abilities, and now you can like throw your hat and it'll hurt people. No, they are relevant to the character's story arc and their personal journey within the actual narrative. So it sounds really deep because, I don't know, maybe some people don't expect this kind of care and detail put into a fighting games campaign.
Yeah.
But they've gone for it, and I think it's going to really pay off.
Nice.
It's cool. Yeah.
That sounds sick.
Yeah.
Henry, you've played the demo. It's coming out soon. Is
Very
there anything else that I need to know, that people need to know about Mortal Kombat 1 that you can tell us now?
Well, Invasion, it's a very cool mode. Brand new for the franchise. What's really cool about it that I think is the fact it's got tons of replayability. So yeah, of course, you can run through that dungeon with different characters, but it's deeper than that. The devs said that they're actually going to refresh it every 6 weeks.
Okay.
New themes, new bosses, new like challenges within that. So that in itself, the fact it's already replayable enough that it's a roguelite and you can bring in different characters, but also that it's on like a cycle and a cadence that's going to change up and you're going to have to like adapt with it. So that's just going to keep staying fresh all throughout Mortal Kombat 1's lifespan. So yeah, online's going to be great. Fatalities are so sick, but this just keeps the content flowing for the lifespan of the game, and yeah. Why wouldn't you want to check that out?
Henry, give us the answer. Is it a play?
Play.
It's a
Play straight away as well. Don't skip out, because people are going to be practicing like mad. Get in there early. You want to get good.
Lightyear Frontier really lets you enjoy the simple life. Just you, the land, and your giant robot mech suit.
Wait, what?
In this farming adventure, you get to set up your own farm on a distant planet. That means growing alien crops, domesticating strange new types of wildlife, and building your own home away from home in the shape of an extraterrestrial farmhouse. This felt like a lovely game to chill out with and just watch time go by while you innovated your inventions to make crop harvesting even easier. Just be careful you don't take a tumble.
Feeble.
Best of all, you can invite up to 3 friends along to help you out with your crops or to explore the planet together and learn more about the mysteries it holds. Although if you just wanted to hang out together and enjoy the game's exceptionally chill vibes, that would be pretty alright too.
If this year's Indiana Jones film has reignited your love for globe-trotting pulp adventures, why not plot a course for the Lamplighter's League, which will be coming straight to Game Pass on October 3rd. It's a really unique game that I just loved getting to play. It took us to early 20th century France for a cunning blend of real-time stealth and turn-based strategy as we led our agent team on a series of top-secret missions. There's a whole variety of agents to choose from, each with their own specialities. Sneaks are good for situations that require, well, sneaking, while sometimes you just have to call in the Bruiser. But let's say you have to get out of real-time stealth and go loud. Well, you get put into an XCOM style brawl where you have to deploy abilities, points and movement very wisely indeed. Although you can sometimes recover more by taking down enemies, so don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. I mean, we are saving the world here after all.
With its cast of floppy furry characters and its taste for wanton violence, Party Animals might just be the most hilarious game at this year's show. Believe me, I played it with the devs and frankly I did cry laughing on stage.
I peed a bit.
Whether you're playing as a dapper otter or a shovel-wielding duck, whether you're competing in an all-out brawl or a game of football that could really use some VAR reviews, every match in Party Animals is filled to the brim with slapstick fun. Every one of our matches certainly was. We battled to stay on board a submarine, as well as the most electrifying game of handball one could imagine. It will be coming straight to Game Pass on September 20th, and Xbox insiders can actually get the party started early with a series of closed betas taking place over the 3 weekends leading up to its release. Ideal if you just can't wait to see a corgi slap a gorilla.
Get it together, Bex! No.
Phantom Liberty, the new spy thriller expansion which arrives on the 26th of September, is going to give Cyberpunk 2077 fans just the upgrade that they've been craving. Not only did I get to speak to Gabriel Amantangelo for the broadcast, you can also see that interview right here, by the way. Oh, and I also got to play some of the demo, and here I am talking to our very own Sam all about it.
Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to Xbox On. Now, I'm with Henry and we are at Gamescom. And we're not just at Gamescom, but we are outside the Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty demo on the Xbox booth. And Henry, you have just been playing it, man.
Played it.
Oh, how was it?
Let me tell you, this is a must-see experience at Gamescom because honestly, I love Cyberpunk as it was, but this new update they brought to it, that I just got to play, blew my mind.
Yeah,
blew my mind.
You've been playing so much of
fun.
the original, so you must be so excited.
I mean, the original was great, but it feels like a whole new game. They brought a 2.0 update, which you get to experience in the demo. You get to see a bit of what the start of Phantom Liberty, which is the new expansion, you get to see a bit of that.
The opening scene.
Yeah, sets the tone. It's like really like cinematic, and the quality of it is just unreal. But what I absolutely loved was just getting to check out a whole new area of Night City as well.
Oh, yes, they've added Dogtown,
Yeah,
right?
Dogtown, that's the one.
Right, first, how is it? And second, any dogs?
A bit of a lack of dogs in the traditional sense, but yeah, it's a bit frightening in there because it's not like a separate area of the city. You can like go in and out of Dogtown however you please, but you get like security checked on the way in and out. Like they stop your car.
Tapping the car doors, having an alert.
It's like as soon as that happens, you realise everyone's looking at me. I'm under surveillance, and you don't feel safe which is quite scary. They scan your whole car.
Yeah.
There's turrets right there in front of you, and you're thinking, this could be it, bro. I'm nearly done for.
Very cool.
And so you finally get into Dogtown, you get to see what it's like, and the streets there are really like cramped and condensed. It feels like a bit claustrophobic. And driving around, you just feel like everybody's looking at you. Everybody's got weapons as well, and you're feeling a bit under pressure.
Very nice.
Yeah, scary.
And what's it like with the driving around, right? Because, of course, you said it's tight gaps, but we've got new vehicles.
Dude, so if it does get a bit hairy, luckily I got to try out a couple of these new cars that have got mounted weapons on them, which is brand new for the game. I tried out this one that's a bit like a Bond vehicle, sleek, you know what they're like.
Yeah.
And it's got these two little guns that pop out the front, underneath like the hood.
James
and they're
Bond
just going,
style,
and you're just mowing people down. You can do like little whip arounds.
Any like
out.
car combat there?
Yeah.
Like, I guess you can have vehicular combat.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the ones that are on the cars, but you can now just whip out your sidearm as well. Just start shooting through windows and, you know, you're literally doing donuts, just going all around. It's unreal. But they also put on some of the cars that we got to try was they have these like turrets on them, which shoot like missiles as well. So you can like target little enemies here and there, just barrage them with like bombardments, and it's explosions everywhere, which, you know what, you're probably going to get in a lot of trouble for it. So it's something that when I was chatting to Gabe Amatengelo, he mentioned that, yeah, you're going to need to watch out because the wanted system's been updated too.
Yeah.
And if you manage to max out 5 stars, MaxTac comes for you, and they've got some of the heaviest hitting vehicles there. We're talking like cannon fire, we're talking like machine guns, and they will just tear you to shreds if you're not prepared for it.
And if you guys want to check out Henry's interview with Gabe, then get the card up there. Right. Anyway, tell me some more.
So, we talked a bit about Dogtown. It's a bit cramped, it's a bit techie in there.
Yeah.
But what I also love to see was the fact that they've updated things like the progression that you've got, the skill trees. So I had a little play around with it. I wanted to see like, okay, what are the new ways I can maybe spec into?
Like new character builds and things
Exactly,
like that, yeah.
So they totally overhauled cyberware. It's now something you need to kind of balance because there's this concept in Cyberpunk called cyberpsychosis, which is where if you have too much chrome on you, it starts to affect your brain a bit and you might go a bit rampage mode. So that's actually a part of the game now as well. This little gauge on the side, and it goes up the more cyberware you're adding, and you can sort of see...
The more insane you're going slowly.
Exactly,
time,
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's upgrades and benefits to having cyberware, but you might want to watch out for how much cyberpsychosis you're adding. So I actually played more of like a quick sort of blade wielding. I had mantis blades popping out my arms. So the cyberware...
rocking the katana.
Yeah, katana?
Yeah.
Oh mate, I'll tell you about that in a sec. But the cyberware I was using was a bit more limited. I didn't have to worry about that too much myself because I'm just dipping in and out like as quick as I can, like dodging through people. Katana, mate, they've added in
bullets.
Yeah. And it's not just like a little, oh yeah, here I go. They are like flying at you and you're hitting, and if you choose the right skill tree setup, the one that I picked, you can actually deflect them towards the enemies and like
so
crit hit them. Oh, the changes they've made to the way that the skill tree works, I think is just going to really excite players because it's opening up even more builds than we already had.
Well, katana sounds like the ultimate ninja build, doesn't it? That's like sneaking in and around the corridors, slicing people up, and if it gets a bit too hairy, get them out of there.
Yeah, and you do get like right up in there with some of these moves because they've added in finishers, which are
they're new,
brutal.
right?
Oh yeah, brand new.
The DLC weren't in the visual. Yeah, that's cool.
So some of them, I mean, you can use them with katanas, you can use them with gorilla fists, you can use them with mantis blades. So mantis blades are crazy because you're just
weapon, that is.
absolutely kebabbing someone up and they're just gone. If you've got the katana, you could like knock them to the floor, head comes off, it's just crazy. I think people are going to have a lot of fun with it. Makes it all feel just a bit more immersive, to be honest. It's all happening first person right there, and you're the one doing it to him. It's sick.
So are all of these new additions exclusive to the DLC, or is the base game getting it?
Well, I was chatting to some of the devs, and they were saying that the majority of this, apart from the Phantom Liberty story, is for everybody on Series X and S.
Nice.
So everyone's going to get finishers, the update 2.0 to the skill tree. Everyone's going to be able to experience the effects of cyberpsychosis. If you want to go to Dogtown, that's for Phantom Liberty, and that's the new story, and I'd highly recommend it because the quality of it, it's like Hollywood levels of just action spy thriller game.
It sounds like
There was this moment where I was just bombing it down the street, chasing a plane that had just crashed overhead, hitting it on the bike, jump over some ramps, straight into combat, slice people. I mean,
Oh man, I can't wait to play, and I bet you everyone at home can't wait either. But it's not too far away because Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty releases on Xbox Series X and S on the 26th of September. Pow!
Finally, I got some time in playing Towerborne and had an absolute blast. This ARPG can be played solo, but it's way more fun with friends, online or couch co-op, especially if they happen to be the developers of the game. It's hectic, brawling at its best, with your own customizable characters and an apparently huge open world map, though we were kept to just one section of it, so we didn't ruin our appetite. The boss battles are also not something to be sniffed at either. These are pretty tough bouts, but frankly, I can't wait to get through more of them next year.
Any excuse for me to destroy a mushroom, to be fair.
Okay, now we're done bragging about all the great games we got to play. It's over to you. Hit the comments to tell us which titles you're just dying to hear more about. Bye!
Bye.